What's up, everybody? It's the Crypto Crow. I'm actually really excited about tonight. I'm not even going to kid you. I think I tapped into something that could actually be useful for all of you, each and every one of you. So I'm actually really excited about this. I think I've finally found a group of indicators that, when working together, help support one another, and honestly, I think are going to help everybody make some positive trades. And so I've been doing some research on this stuff. There's still more research that I'm going to be doing. I am going to say that I think what I'm going to show you tonight is actually potentially going to save quite a bit of money, in the sense that I think what I've discovered, not that it's any huge secret, but I think it's not as widely known to many. And it's not 100% perfect, but I do think that there are a lot of people charging for these kinds of trade signals. I do. And I haven't cross-referenced this a lot yet, but I plan to, and that's going to be a later video. I'm not now, what we're talking about isn't just going to be what's called the pivot reversal strategy. We're going to be talking about Ichimoku, EMAs, and basically how they all kind of work together. I'm not going to explain every detail, every nuance of all of these indicators, because let's face it, I don't think a lot of you care. I think what you guys care about is to see whether or not it works, what kind of money you can make with it, and how one can support the other. And that's ultimately what I'm going to be showing you. I did some tests. Last night, I did a bunch of tests. I posted one to the my Crow's Telegram group. And what's up, everybody? Colby McCord, cool. Mark Hicks, what's up? I think what I'm going to show you guys is I think it might trip you out. I think it's going to be really cool for a lot of you. So this is just your standard chart, okay? This is a 5-minute chart right now. All right, we're looking at a 5-minute chart. I'm going to start with a 5-minute chart and work the way out, work my way out of it. So what you're seeing here is you see my volume indicator, and you're going to see my two EMAs, my 13 and 34. So I've got a fast and slow EMA. Now, right down here, you have two crossovers, okay? Make sure you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. Easy trading. Famous last words. Oh, climate tech, we've got a cynic. That's good. I like it. I only use pivot reversal, never use the combination that you've explained. Yes, and that's what makes this so cool. Because I've been making some accurate calls with this lately. And I posted one of them to my public group so people could hold me accountable. I didn't post the sell yet, but I'm going to show the sell tonight, and people are going to see, holy cow, that's what Crow was doing. That was right. That was a good trade. I'm really pumped about this, and it's crazy. Only 31 people. I don't know why there are only 31 people watching right now, unless it's a flaw in the thing. Maybe people are intimidated by this. I don't know, but you shouldn't be, because this is going to be super simple. I'm telling you, this is going to be a popular video in time, because I think a lot of you guys care about your friends and family that are trying to get into TA and learn some stuff. I think you're going to be sharing this video. Smash up the likes, because I really think you guys are going to be impressed. Like, my wife knows I've been ecstatic about doing this video tonight for 2 days. All right, so here we go. So basically, you see the EMAs, you see volume. Volume is low. Okay, so there's not a lot of people selling. There's not a lot of heavy volume in selling during these 5-minute candles. So that was 5 minutes ago. This is the current 5-minute candle. Okay, so that hasn't closed. What you see down here is you see the two EMAs. You see the 13, or actually you see the 34 rather, cross down, which basically means the price is likely going to be going down. And then it went back up. So there was heavy sell volume, and then immediately transition back into an uptrend. Okay, so that's these crossovers. Typically, I tell people, like, if you're just playing the EMA, like that's the only indicator that you're working with, and you're trying to buy the ups and downs, I tell people, And this is not financial advice, obviously, everybody. I am not a TA expert, okay? I am literally sharing with you something I've been working on this week that I think is going to excite you and get you really pumped about doing TA, because I think you're going to understand everything. But I am not a technical analysis expert. There are a lot of guys out there that are much better at TA than me, but I'm going to be catching up with them. Those are famous last words, but we'll see. So anyway, when the 13 crosses down, that's typically bearish, okay? And when the 13 is crossing up, so the 13 is the green one, right? So when the 13 crosses up, typically right about when this happens is when I would buy, okay? So I would buy right around here. Now on a 5-minute chart, you know, that could get you some decent gains. In this case, it got you, you know, from down here at around 40.91, cool. If you're still riding that up, you can take profits. You could have taken profits all the way up here if you wanted. Like, wow, this was a really easy swing trade over the course of like a half an hour. So, you know, maybe you could have made $50 or $100, or depending on how much you're trading in this time period. So that's a really, really easy way. You buy when it's on its way up, you sell when it comes down. The only problem with that is there's a lot of activity in between here. And depending on the time frame you're trading on, you know, maybe, you know, a lot of people say if you're day trading, you want to be day trading on a 5-minute chart. And that's apparently what a lot of day traders look to. So there's that, okay? Because a day trader isn't necessarily waiting for these EMAs to cross over in either or direction, right? So they're looking for other signals, ways to basically buy and sell in between maybe the EMAs crossing, okay? Now, I'm going to show you what's called the pivot reversal strategy. All right, I just turned it on. You see these popping up here, right? You see the red and the blue. Now, I'm going to keep things real simple in explaining this, but ultimately the pivot reversal strategy indicates when a good time to buy and a good time to sell. Okay, simple enough, right? Now, when you're looking at this, you can see how this actually correlates pretty well to the original EMA strategy, right? Waiting for the crossovers. Well, you're seeing an example of this here. When it's crossing down, it's basically telling you you want to sell. You want to sell now because the price is going to go lower. Then it tells you during this cross up, actually before, if you look at this indicator, it's telling you before the actual crossover happens, you know, within 5 minutes, that now's a good time to buy. So it's actually telling you to buy in the middle of this candle at 40.95. The actual crossover happens, so the price continued to fall during this candle, okay? So on a 5-minute chart, you could have been waiting it out. You could even switch to a 1 minute and watch this thing tick down, and you might have bought in down here. Okay, but it's telling you to buy now regardless because it's seeing this changing. It's seeing the pattern is telling you buy now, it's going to go up, which is exactly what it did. Now, this is all within, I mean, this is a 5-minute candle, so this has all happened within the past hour. Okay, now you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, but and this is based on volume. The volume is such that it's saying, okay, the volume's really high. The price is getting ready to take off. It's about ready to go up again. So you're going to buy back in somewhere in this candle. If you buy back in here, let's say you bought it around 40.90, 40.92. Well, you just watched it go all the way up here, but it hasn't told you yet when to sell. It's still waiting for that. It's the volume has died down, so there's, people are accumulating. It's a sideways movement. Now, this indicator, and I'm going to go deeper into this indicator, but I'm kind of looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, so this is a really easy way to tell me when to buy and when to sell. If I just have this going, it's going to tell me exactly when I should be doing this, and I'll likely make money. Now, I'm going to take this a step further because a lot of TA guys are going to tell you it's not about just one indicator. It's when multiple indicators agree that you're making a good buy or sell decision. So now I'm going to turn on Ichimoku Cloud. Okay, this is Ichimoku Cloud. Now, on this 5-minute chart, it's not telling me a whole hell of a lot. Okay, the cloud is technically here. Like this is the two lines are pretty much laying on top of each other. This isn't telling you a whole hell of a lot. What this is telling you, though, is that the price is above the cloud, even though there's barely any cloud. And typically, the bigger the cloud is, the larger the size of the cloud, the more difficult it's going to be for the price action to move through it in any given direction. So when a thin cloud like this is in play, it's going to be very easy because there's very little support resistance either way. And so there's not a whole hell of a lot to go on. So on a 5-minute candle, you're really not, you're not gaining a lot of benefit from the cloud because it's not telling you everything that you really want to know. So we're going to go to, this is a 1 hour chart. Okay. Now, I don't remember all the exact names. There's the Tenkan-sen and the A and the B and all kinds of stuff. You can learn about that. This isn't really about Ichimoku Cloud, but this is about looking at it. This looks like a crazy mess, right? This looks like a crazy mess. But, and the buy and sell signals are a little bit different. So over here on the 1 hour chart, this basically has you selling, okay? On a 1 hour chart. This was the buy-in. So if I zoom in a little bit more, I actually drew this resistance line. I thought it was last night. I could be wrong. But if I zoom in here, this is saying, okay, buy in at 40.86. So this told you to buy at 40.86. And then up here, actually down on this candle, it told you would have broken even. So this would have been basically a poor trade, okay? Now, why is this the case? Obviously, the volume was high on the buy. It told you to sell while the price was down here, even though you obviously would have made some money selling up here. So there's some confusion on the 1 hour chart. You ultimately, it's basically telling you to buy in and you're ultimately selling without much reason. And so if I were looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, this would be considered a minor pivot. And basically, a minor pivot would be one to be ignored. Ultimately, if you're talking about pivot points, you don't necessarily want to act on every pivot. The idea is you want to lower the number of pivots that you're taking action on based off an educated example of what is expected to happen based on the overall sentiment of the market and that time frame. And when I look at this Ichimoku Cloud, this is telling me that ultimately, the price action is above the cloud, which means that we are in a bullish sentiment, okay? So on a 1 hour chart, we are in a bullish sentiment, which is telling me that for me to sell at this position right here, this is a minor pivot that's probably best ignored. So I'm going to ignore it because it's basically telling me to sell. Now, at this point, I would ignore this candle or I would ignore this pivot and basically wait for another cycle to come through, expecting the fact that because the price action is above the Ichimoku Cloud itself, which is basically telling me that this is bullish territory, that it's more likely going to go higher than it is going to go down, which is exactly what has been happening. These candles have continued to rise up. Right now, we're sitting at 41.23. So you can see how you can reference what the pivots are telling you, but use the Ichimoku Cloud. Now, the other side to this is you've got ultimately 4 lines of support and resistance with the Ichimoku Cloud. You've got this one here, which is the blue thin line. Then you've got this red one, and then you've got, and I don't remember the technical terms. I'm just calling them lines. But this here's a support and resistance, and this is support or resistance, depending on where the price action is. So if I'm looking at the Ichimoku Cloud, I know that the price action is currently above this line. It's in bullish territory, which basically makes these lines here. If I zoom in, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to expand on this a bit. Now, I typically ignore these two with regard to support and resistance. What I do look at is this one. Where is the top line of the cloud at in reference to the price action? Now, when I was experimenting earlier, I had wrote this line of support, basically. So this was the support line. And before I did this somewhere around here because I was charting this. This was 40.87. Let me look at my sheet here. Yes, this is exactly what I wrote last night. And if you look in my Telegram channel, those of you that are in chat will know that this is what I put. Where is it? So buy, where is it? Buy at 40.87, okay? And that was last night at 11:12. No sell yet, all right? So I posted this signal last night. So right now, I am still technically, because I haven't called the sell yet, I'm ignoring this because I expect the price to go higher because of the bullish sentiment that this is in. So as of right now, at 40.87, which is where I basically had posted the signal to buy, we are up to 41.22 since I posted that trade signal with no current exit yet. Unless some wise ass decides to watch this video and go dump a bunch of Bitcoin on the exchanges right now to push the price down to prove a point, it looks bullish. So what I had done was I had drawn this line of resistance, or this support line, basically expecting the price to not go below this. And if I look further down as I'm watching this, there was a bit of a sell-off and it bounced off of that support line and off it continued to go into an accumulation phase for 10 hours or so, and it's begun rising up from there. So overall, let me see in chat if you guys get so far what I'm explaining, because now I'm going to go into some other details on what you can actually make. Okay, I'm going to break this down. I'm going to show you some back testing as to what you would make over what time frame using this. My Ichi doesn't show sell and buy ticks. That's because you must have came in late, CJ. This isn't just Ichimoku Cloud. This is a combination of Ichimoku Cloud with pivot reversal strategy. Now, when you are in TradingView and you're looking at this, when you're going into the indicators, here's indicators and strategies. So I'm going to show you, because this is what you want. Pivot reversal. All right, so there's a whole bunch of these, but what you want is this one, pivot reversal strategy with back test data range. This is going to help you decide. I've already favorited this. You can see it. Okay, good. So I'm basically, this is the one I'm using, and I'm going to show you why this one's important, because this gives you some functionality that you really want so that you can back test different candles, different time periods, and get an understanding as to basically what you can make with how much money and what time frame based off of the history of the market. I'm going to show you this in a minute, but I want to make sure that you guys understand what I'm doing. Now, if I go to a 4 hour, now this is a day chart. So this is the difference between a 1 hour and a day chart. Each one of these is a day candle, and hopefully you guys can see it pretty clearly. Now, the benefits to trading on a day chart are that things are typically, I would say, are maybe a little more accurate, but you're going to get a lot less trading activity, and likely you're going to, if every one of these candles is a day, you're basically making one trade every week or two. Okay, so you're making much less trade, and because of that, you're also going to make less profit. However, if I'm looking at this and what's going on right now, this was a buy-in. So it's telling me to buy here at 39.50. Okay. Then it turned around and it's telling me to sell at 39.09. A minor pivot. A pivot point that I'm likely going to ignore because I don't really like that. I think it's anything within a 4% change in price is basically considered a minor pivot. A minor pivot is something that it's 4% or less in either direction. It's going to change probably, very likely, given your time frame. Of course, that's obviously going to play into your market sentiment, and that's what Ichimoku Cloud is really good at showing you: the market sentiment, where things are going, a prediction on the future, and so forth. Now, if I look at this day chart, and I look at the grand Ichimoku Cloud. All right, I'm going to zoom out here. What you see here is a wildly bearish. This has been wildly bearish this whole time, all the way back. Bearish. It started dipping. It started cutting into this a little bit. This was back in May of 2018. That's how far back we are, right around here. Okay, so it's still bearish. If you're looking at the chart, you're seeing that the price action is trying to push into it, but it's just not. And it didn't take long before it rose up a bit and crashed back down. And then if you go beyond that, you can keep going, and it's just bearish. Now, What you see different. What do you see different right now that you didn't see previously? What you see is you don't see a hard upswing and then a hard crash. What you see is an elongated accumulation with a solid uptrend into the accumulation phase of the Ichimoku cloud. So this is neither bullish nor bearish technically. This would be considered kind of, it's treading water in the sense, but it's slightly on an uptrend. Now, if you're looking at the Ichimoku cloud, what else do you see? What you see is a crossover. What you see is a crossover where this bearish cloud is starting to turn bullish. So by the time we get to, this is basically saying by the time we get into April, around mid-April, we should start really treading into bullish territory on a one-day chart, which is something that we have not seen since like 2017. I think it actually went further back than that. When I was doing some research, I actually think it was like the bull run, which was the last time we saw this kind of activity on a day chart. Is everybody seeing this? Exactly. The bullish signal's forming, and this is on a day chart. So while I'm trading these pivot points and I'm seeing this activity on any other chart, okay, I could go to a 4-hour. Let's look at a 4-hour. 4-hour, we're bullish on a 4-hour. Any other timeline, we're bullish other than the day. So when I look at the day chart and I see where the future is potentially going, I feel everything that I'm seeing is telling me we're more bullish right now than we have been in a year and a half. I mean, since the bull market. Are we heading into a bull market right now? I don't know. I don't want to say either way, but I can tell you from everything that I've been seeing, it's looking pretty damn good. And I'm starting to get a little excited. I'm not going to kid you. So if we're looking at the pivot points here, this had told us to sell all the way down here. Okay. So, and the price action is still above the cloud, but we switched from bearish here to a bullish here. Price action was above, which didn't make much sense. Price action was above the bullish cloud. This is on a day chart. This is May 19th or May 23rd of 2019. So this was in May. And so it started to come down, price action in here, and then we had a reversal and it broke through the resistance, which was a complete breakout. And right at around this time of the breakout, it said, go ahead and buy. And it's riding this to now. I mean, this is a no-brainer to me. This all makes sense. Does this make sense for everybody? Are you learning something tonight? Is this empowering? I feel that this is absolutely empowering. I am super pumped and excited about this because I'm going to be coming up with some trade signals. Because I talked to my wife about this, and I'm not done. I'm going to show you some other cool stuff here in a second. But I think ultimately, I know that a lot of people are selling these pivot reversal points as trade signals in groups and charging you money. There's no reason. You can look it up yourself. I could create a group, be like, hey, folks, I can just keep this from you and be like, look, I'm not even going to tell anybody about this. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to start making money using my own trade signals. They're going to be more often correct than they are wrong. And so I'm going to be able to show like all my traders, I've seen this. This is a racket. Can you set alerts on pivot? Yes, you can in TradingView. You can set an SMS alert, an email alert, all of that stuff. It's in your settings somewhere in here. I know it can be done. Trading events. I know there's a way to do it, but I don't remember off the top of my head. It might be somewhere in here. Notifications. No, I don't know. I know there's a way to do it because I've seen it done. Okay, so now you're probably thinking, okay, Crow, that's pretty cool. I might actually try that, but how much can I actually make? Okay, what does this actually mean to me? If I were to go back and I wanted to back test this, and let's say I had $1,000, like I'm gonna trade $1,000 and see what happens. Here's what we do. We can back test this. We'll go back here to the 5-minute chart, and then we're gonna pull this up. Whoa. Okay, we're gonna pull this up. And in this is actually going to show you, so this is overview, this is a performance summary, and this is a list of all of the trades. Now, before we do that, here's what we're going to do. Ichimoku, no, settings, properties. Okay. So when I go into the settings properties of this with the indicator that I showed you specifically, I'm going to say, okay, my initial capital, let's say, is $1,000. So I'm going to plug $1,000 in here. My default base currency is USD. My order size, every time I make a trade, I'm going to do $1,000. Okay. I'm going to assume my commission is somewhere around 0.04%, which is typically pretty average, give or take, depending on the exchange and what you're doing. You know, Coinbase is obviously it can be higher. Verified price for limit orders, not worried about that. Slippage, I'm not going to take that into account. But this is what I'm going to use as my base. $1,000 trades back and forth, buy and sell. My goal being to accumulate more Bitcoin. So I'm going to hit OK on that. Now, down here, I click this, and I've got the same thing. However, where is it? This is, where is it? Inputs. Yes, okay. So left 4 bars, right 4 bars. From the first day of the 3rd month, which is where we're at now. So this is basically over the last 31 days from year 2019 to the first day of this. So we're going to say the 31st day of month 3. All right. And this is going to be 2019. All right. So on a 5-minute chart, if I'm trading these signals, this is basically telling me that I would have made 1.26% profit using the 5-minute chart if I were just swing trading these results, trading $1,000 every time over the past 31 days. Okay, not very much, because you know these on a 5-minute candle, it's going in and out of positions almost too fast. Okay, unless you're trading in bulk and you're ignoring a lot of the mini pivots, okay? Because here's what you're looking at. Your net profit, $12.58. Whoop-de-doo. Gross profit of $380. That's pretty good. You made $380. However, your gross loss is $368. So realistically, you're virtually breaking even because let's see here. It tells you total closed trades, 364 total trades over this time period on a 5-minute chart. Total open trades, it's saying you have an open trade now because I guess I would have to reference that. It told you to buy in, it hasn't sold yet. Average trade, average win per trade is $3.43. I mean, this is breaking down all the statistics. This is all the information you need, okay? This is why I say if you ignore the mini pivots, basically a pivot that you know the price action has changed less than 4%, those mini pivots oftentimes, and if you can correlate that to like Ichimoku Cloud, you know, where's the price sentiment, all that stuff, you make those decisions on which pivots are worth ignoring ultimately. And there's more to that. One of the things that I'm going to be doing in a future video is I'm going to go through and I'm going to fine test all of the failed trades in a particular time frame, and I'm going to find all of the similarities. What was happening on each of those trades that this happened? But I'm not going to do it on a 5-minute chart because that would be ridiculous. So anyway, this is telling you all this information. Now, this is going to go in and it's telling you all of the trades that you lost money. It's going to say exactly, you know, this was a long entry, and then you basically ended up selling it at a 0.13% loss. So you lost $1.32 on this trade. Overall, trading with this on a 5-minute chart, unless you're ignoring and you're good at basically figuring out which is a minor pivot, which is a major pivot, which ones you're making your trades, 5-minute is too much. So we're going to look at it. Most people that trade crypto trade on a 4-hour chart. All right. This is a 4-hour. Now, looking at the 4-hour chart, this is where we were before. So we bought in here. It's riding the uptrend. The price action is above the cloud. It's in bullish territory. At this point, because the price is so far above the cloud, I would at this point use this line as the support. So I would basically draw this out as a support line here. This is actually calling that a support line, which, yeah, that would work too. With the line being up here, I would draw this. So let's say I were trading this, okay? I bought in here. The price has now risen. I'm riding this on a 4-hour chart. I'm riding this trend all the way up. Each time this goes up, maybe in every 4-hour increment or depending on what's going on, as I'm waiting for this, I'm going to increase my stop loss. I'm going to move my stop loss up to the resistance. I'm going to use the resistance line to basically, if I were to put a stop loss into this, like if I were still holding, I would probably put a stop loss in around 40.65. And if I get stopped out for any reason, I bought in at under 4,000. So I'm still making $65 per, basically per Bitcoin for the most part, based off of how much I'm trading, how much money I'm trading, but I'm making that profit. And as this continues to rise up until I get a sell signal, which at this point, if a sell signal is somewhere up here, I'm probably going to take that as a major pivot because, yeah, somewhere around there. Maybe it's 0.4. I have to go back and look what the minor pivots are. There's an easy way of breaking them down, though, based off the price fluctuation. I was thinking it's 4%. It might be less than that. So anyway, but I'm still holding this. I'm going to put a stop loss in here somewhere around this line. This is the support line. I expect the price to bounce off of that if it does hit, given the bullish sentiment of the market. And therefore, I'm probably going to let it ride a little further. If I get a sell thing, then what am I going to do? If this were to pop up and tell me to sell, then I'm going to look at my EMA. And my EMA spread is pretty far. So we saw the crossover into the up pattern here. This is about where I would have bought anyway without even using this pivot. And I'm basically going to ride this up. And I'm expecting this to give me a sell target before the crossover happens on a downward trend. And because, volume is looking good, I expect this to continue. Based off of what I'm looking at, I expect this to continue rising up. So if I'm looking at this and I want to understand, okay, so what would I be trading? If I were trading on a 4-hour, what kind of money could I make? So I'm trading $1,000. Let me make sure that I've got the settings in there properly. Oh, this isn't the same. Yeah, it is. Here we go. So from day 1 of month 3 from year 2019, we're going to change that to 31 days of month 3 in 2019. Properties, 1,000 USD. Doesn't really seem right. So net profit down. List of trades. Yeah, this isn't right. This is only a few trades. I know it's more than that. Let me go back down and change this. Any questions you guys have while I'm trying the 3-hour? I'll look at the 3-hour. Personally, I liked the 1-hour the most when I was testing this because I was kind of going over and looking at everything. And it felt like the 1-hour was the most accurate as it related to the other indicators. And so that was the one. And, look, when you're trading on a 4-hour, a 4-hour, I mean, look at the time, look at the difference between some of these buys and sells. If every one of these is a 4-hour candle, I mean, these are weeks apart. Weeks apart. I'm buying in here. So last time you buy in at 38.74, then this has you selling at 39.50. So you're not making that much profit on that trade on a 4-hour. So there's the 1 hour on the other hand, I actually like the 1 hour. And let me see here. Something isn't clicking here. That's okay. Inputs from day 1 from month 3, 2019 to day 31 yeah, I mean, that's all right. I don't see how this is. It's not right though. Well, pyramiding. I don't know what the pyramiding is though. So I wish there was a way. So this is what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going back through and I'm going to be taking out a lot of these minor pivots because I'm curious if it's a minor pivot, how much more of the profit that generates. But if I were to go back, so let's say I go back and let's say maybe I've been doing this for the past year and I'm doing that, let's say from month one of 2018 to the 31st day. So basically to present day. And let's say I'm trading 10,000 or no, let's say I'm doing 4,000. We'll just basically say I'm swing trading back and forth a Bitcoin. All right. Now this doesn't have it as Bitcoin, so you have to basically use cash, which sucks. It's the only thing that sucks about this. But if I'm doing this, I look at the overview. It's basically that one Bitcoin. If I had been trading these signals, whether I won or lost money on all of the trades, it's basically saying I'd be up 335% in profit. Okay. So, but then I can go and I can look at the trades, and these are all the trades that have been made. Now, there's a lot of loss ones in there, but the losses aren't that huge. Well, some of them are 3.5%, 2.8. So that's the kicker, is learning how to get rid of the mini pivots, focusing on the major pivots, taking profit at the proper time, and then using the pivot signals in conjunction with other indicators like the Ichimoku cloud to make sure that what it's telling you to do is confluent, I guess is the term in TA, with the other indicators so that you know that you're making a positive price sell. Try the pivot with the MFI. I don't even know. I'm not familiar with MFI. Still buying ADA. Who is not buying ADA? Shelly is almost out. Yeah. So that is, I'm curious to see your opinions on this. Has this been helpful? Like, does this excite any of you as much as it excites me? Or am I just crazy? Have you already smashed the like button in appreciation for what I'm trying to share with you people? Let me know, because I'm still super pumped about this, and I'm going to be diving very deep into this. Best way to trade, not to trade, you will get wrecked. The best way to trade is to not trade. I disagree. I mean, like this is even showing you, if you've been trading on a 1 hour chart, following the signals up and down, whether you win or lose, you're going to basically, your net profit's 335% in the positive. So, you're basically trading that $4,000 to and fro, and you made $13,000 profit over the past year off of $4,000. I mean, that's hard to argue with. And that's taking into account the losses that you've accumulated during your positive trades. So it's a win scenario. The trick is to limit the number of poor trades. That's where we get into this. Yeah, bro, I'm very excited about what this chart is showing. Well, it's not just what the chart is showing. It's the science behind it. It's understanding, how, ultimately, you guys should be able to start making your own trades pretty effectively, given just what I'm showing you here. I'm hoping that's the case. Thank you, Crow. The next bull run seems like it's right around the corner. Thank you for the info. The indicator is pretty cool, but still have skepticism. And you know what? I'm not done. I mean, I'm done explaining a lot of this for now. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video where I'm going to be going through, because I've been making a lot of notes over the past couple days. Just where I bought in and what was happening. So, I sold at 40.90, buyback at 40.89. The EMA 13 crossed down after 85 minutes after the first sell, price below resistance, low volume, price bullish above the cloud, that sort of thing. And I'm making all these notes, and ultimately, and then I've got graphs and stuff that I've been hand drawing on paper, because what I'm ultimately looking to do is I want to crack the code in the sense that, and once I feel like I've got a pretty good grasp of it, like what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to take the hour. Okay. And then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to take the list of all the trades that lost money. maybe over the course of a month or something like that. And I'm going to take all of the trades that lost money. I've got the timestamps right here, so I know exactly where they happened. And I'm going to go back to these. I'm going to take a screenshot, and I'm going to reference the pivot against the EMA, the volume, and the Ichimoku cloud. Because these are trades from all the way back in 2018. So we went back over a year. And so, I'm going to reference these. I'm going to find out where was the market like? And then I'm going to see how those changes have progressed over the past year and a half and try to find, common denominators in anything that was going on in the market at the time. The pivot points were basically said to buy or sell, but what reasons would I have to ignore those pivot points? What's the common denominator against all of these bad calls, the times when it said to either buy or sell at a loss? And that's what I'm going to figure out. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video to this. I'll do a follow-up video to this if this video gets popular. If people watch this video and everybody's hitting the likes and they're posting comments or asking questions, you want to know more, and this video engages people and you're digging it, then I will do a follow-up video. If people seem to not care that much, then I'll just keep the information myself and just get really good with it. Ichimoku is loved by many traders. It's cool. And the thing of it is that Ichimoku cloud and the pivot reversal strategy are not widely used. And it's not because they're not widely used because people think it's crap. They're just not widely used. It's not as widely known. How many of you, out of, 65 to 100 people, how many of you guys have ever heard of pivot reversal strategy? It's likely not many. What you're hearing a lot about are Elliott Wave, Tom DeMarco, a lot of these other things that a lot of other bigger YouTubers are using. And so they're not using some of these more user-friendly, a little bit easier to understand indicators. And look, this is a sure, pretty much, in my opinion, this appears to be a surefire way to make money. The question about the pivot reversal strategy and the Ichimoku cloud is, how do you use these two with EMA and volume? And you can even use RSI as well. Obviously, that's pretty telling. That's something that I might actually pipe into this. But that's all stuff that you could it's about lowering the number of bad trades while maintaining the positive ones. I'm running Ichimoku and Arun and double check with Bollinger Band strategy on a 1 to 4 hour. Very good. I'd like to see you do a live trade. Okay. Not a problem at all. At the end of the day, I believe it's better to try to trade when the market is more volatile. It's too stable now. Okay. I like this. Thank you. I added the indicator to my TV trading view. This is good info. A lot of traders are selling this. Thanks. Exactly my point. I'm trying to save everybody money. I know that a lot of people are selling this stuff as trade signals, and they're charging Bitcoin. Join my VIP group. And it's like, okay, now you don't have to. And that's what I'm hoping people take away from this. And I'm hoping that everybody understands what I'm trying to do with this video, to try and educate people on what a lot of these hustlers are out there. They're pushing these pivot trades as trade signals. They are legit trade signals, but it's not like it's rocket science. This isn't anything that anybody, you can take what I just showed you and you should be able to at least get a pretty good idea. Even if you just traded the buys and sells, you turned off Ichimoku. You said, you know what, Crow, don't need it. Gone. Okay. Ichimoku's gone. I don't need your EMA crap either. Screw that. I just want to look at these bars and I'm going to buy and trade. Some of these are not going to be profitable trades, but over time, you are going to win a lot more than you lose. The only problem is that these statistics, performance summary, all that, gross loss, 16,000, gross profit, almost 30,000. So this is all about lowering the percentage that you lose and maintaining what you gain. That way you're increasing your overview percentage, and you're going, I want to see people go from 335% to 600% gains over a period of time. And that's what my goal is, diving into these indicators and showing you guys how to use them so you don't have to pay for trade signals. I would never, and here's the thing, I would never trade somebody else's trade signals. I don't care how successful or popular they may seem, because I need to know and understand why these trade signals are happening. And that's a part of why I've been doing this video for everybody. 37 likes? That's crazy. That's not very good. The further price gets from the red line, the more overbought. Yeah, that's true. But if you're in a bullish trend, you know, let's look at RSI real quick. RSI. Yeah, we're definitely in overbought territory. Well, we're getting there anyway. This is on an hour. Let's see what's on a 4 hour. Indicators. RSI. So on a 4 hour, we're still just kind of touching into overbought territory. Basically, anything over 70 is considered overbought. Typically, a lot of selling starts to happen around the 73 mark on the RSI. So, yeah, I mean, that's something else that you can use, man. If this is telling you to sell and you're down here in the 60 RSI, everything else looks bullish. If it's telling you to do that, and it would be considered a minor pivot, I might ignore it, because I would expect the price to probably go a little bit higher until it goes up. But that's me. You meaning to use this with the bot? You know, I haven't talked to the guys about at Aquatos yet. I think this would. Here's the thing. I think Aquatos and the way it automatically trades. You could use this, but I think overall, I probably wouldn't use this. You would have to use this with the pivots in Ichimoku, RSI. You would have to take a whole lot of different things into account simultaneously for it to make effective bot trades. Because this is basically saying, look, you're making $1,000 trade every time, or a $4,000 trade every time. So you need a supply, because you're going to gain more than you lose. But ultimately, if you start with 4,000 and you're trading up and down and you're losing a little bit, but you're gaining some, you're not going to end up with, a 350% gain, because you're depending on when those losses happen against what your gains and how much and the difference and such. It's a complication. Crow, slap on Helkin Ashy candles. It will blow your mind. Are those the ones that look like ladders with like broken steps? I'm not into those. I'm not sure what those are. We don't have an advanced machine to execute those trades yet. Yeah. This is so simple. You can throw on, even a 30-minute chart isn't terrible. Looking at a 30-minute chart, boom, it's still bullish. I mean, I really think we're heading into a bull market. I really think so. I think we're waiting for an official confirmation. If some schmuck or some, whale group doesn't just take a huge dump of Bitcoin into the market to try and send the price crashing down a few $100 in one fell swoop, which it looks like somebody tried to do here. So, but I mean, that wasn't a huge thing. I mean, they basically changed they pushed the price down by like $50. But because of that, it caused a bunch of people to buy. And this is the one thing you have to understand too. When you're looking at support and you're looking at resistance, you have to understand, where are people placing their stop losses? Because wherever the majority of people are placing their stop losses, if those people are pushed out of the market, you're going to see a dip. And so that's a part of what the support and resistance plays a role. So to give you an example, if the majority of people of traders in crypto are trading on a 4-hour chart, all right, and I want to turn Ichimoku back on. So if this is considered the resistance line or the support line, and we're basically saying, okay, the price shouldn't go below that. If it does, it's a breakout downward, right? It's a downward breakout. But because of this, a lot of active traders are going to be setting stop losses around here. So if I've got a stop loss set at around 40.50 or 40.60, because I basically said, okay, there's a good chance that if the price comes down, it's likely going to bounce off of that support. But if it doesn't, then my stop loss will be somewhere around 40.50. Okay. And it's still going to get me a gain. That trade's still going to be profitable, but I might get stopped out. If that does happen, okay, that's fine. I still made a profit. I didn't lose any money. But then at that point, I can ride this wave down a little bit. And then when things settle down, I could buy back in and get into a new position. And that's it. All bots are scams. If the programmers don't disclose what they have been training the bots or no GitHub is legit. I disagree with that, Sam. I totally disagree with that. Bots are not scams. I've been doing bot trading now for quite a while. They're not at all scams. Some of them might be, but the ones that I use are not. So that's that. I guess I'll leave it there, and we'll see if the public digs this video. They want me to dive deeper. It is a little late, so we'll see what happens over the next few days. If people are liking the video, posting comments, sharing it. I want to dive deeper into this, but I want to know that people care. So if you're digging it, if you like it, I will say good news for the market. I wasn't going to go into this, but I mean, damn, what a beautiful site. A lot of if I just go into my favorites, a lot of my favorites are jamming. Matrix AI up 61% over 7 days. It's up to 17 cents. Booyakashan. Aeon's up to 17 cents. These are a lot of my top picks that have been in my top picks for a while. Obviously, Cardano is still doing really well, over 7 cents. Power Ledger, it's about time it gets a nice pump to over 19 cents. And Ethereum, keep in mind, where's Ethereum? Ethereum's 3.8 cents. Stuff I've been preaching for quite a while. Ontology, all the stuff under here is growing a little slower than Ethereum, but that's fine. Neo, OMG, Dent, Qtum, Cardano, Power Ledger, Aeon, GoChain's up almost 26% in the last 7 days. I mean, I'm really digging what I'm seeing, folks. I'm pretty happy. And that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to teach you guys some of this stuff so that you guys can start trading these altcoins. And what I'm probably going to start doing is I'm going to start publishing trade signals. And you can join my VIP group. Totally kidding. I'm going to be posting trade signals in my Murder of Crows Telegram channel. Link is somewhere on these pages. That's it. I'm going to call it a night. Crow your coins. Crow's Nest X, go join the newsletter. Make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. Lots of big stuff's going to be happening with this exchange really soon. So check it out. https://crowsnestx.com. Coming April 2019. Join the newsletter. All right, guys. Have a good night. Hope you like this video because I've really been pumped about making it. Go to sleep. See ya.